Right now, guys, got a very, very special interview here. This is
big book. This is big.
This is groundbreaking.
Yes.
Definitely. Let's bring him on the show. Better known as the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson. Hey, guys, what's going on?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Hey, man.
We're good.
Y'all seem laid back, man. I thought you guys was in Florida, man, but you guys out in California, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's why we're laid back.
Yeah, I know it, man. They got special rules out there that I actually like.
California boys.
I think we're all kind of the same, right? We're all from the beach, and we all just want to chill out.
Hey, man, my boy RVD, man, you know, he's a California boy. I always like coming out and hanging out with RVD. Actually, when I come out there, definitely going to hopefully spend some time with my man. But definitely, Hey, man, it's all about you guys. What's life like for the Young Bucks right now?
Man, we've been blessed right now. We're in a position where we're pretty much doing whatever we want, and we have the freedom to pretty much do whatever, wrestle for whatever company we would like to do. And man, it's been a journey to get to the point where we have the control of our destiny, so to speak. But man, we're enjoying life, and we're enjoying our career right now.
Yeah, and then I was just going to add, I was going to say that it's been this long journey that people don't realize. Like, we've been doing this for 15 years now, and it kind of seems like an overnight success story, but really, I wouldn't say we didn't really become successful until 10 years in, right? It's like it took 10 years of just trying our hardest and scratching and crawling and trying to get something going, and it took 10 years for us to start making money in wrestling, and now we're in a position where wrestling has almost become supplementary money to our real money, where we make money in merchandising and we make money in these third party things now. It's like wrestling's kind of just like the cherry on top. So like, we don't even need to wrestle at this point. Like, we could just kind of like chill at home and film a YouTube show if we really wanted to. So again, like Nick said, we're very blessed to be in the position that we're in, and it feels like there's like this big boom going on in independent wrestling, and we're at the forefront of it.
Hey, man, every overnight success story takes 15 years. You guys didn't know that?
That's true. It seems that way.
That's normally the way it works. Hey, man, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, man. The first time I got a chance to meet the Young Bucks, and now seriously, and the thing is, you know you own to something, man. Seriously, you know you own to something when your name get there before you do. You know what I mean? Literally, I knew about you guys. I had heard about you guys before I'd ever met you, before I'd ever laid eyes on you or anything like that. Like Samoa Joe, like AJ Styles. You know, those guys, their name ring very, very loud, and yourself as well. But our first meeting, you guys was there at WWE. I think you were getting a tryout. I'm not sure. It was, and I didn't know you guys, and perhaps you guys didn't know me as well. WWE Hall of Famer, 10 times, tag team.
You don't need to read off the stats. We know, but we're aware.
No, but the thing was, I don't even think you guys realize it to this day. I don't know. We're talking right now. But you guys were leaning on my jacket, and I said, "Hey, man, you're leaning on my jacket," and I got my jacket, and I looked at you guys like, kind of funny. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. But what did you guys take away from that meeting, that first meeting with Booker T?
Hey, I'll say it right now. Being back there at that stage of our career, it's like walking on eggshells. You don't know who to say hi to. You don't know if you're disrespecting anyone. So we were just trying to be like out of the way. And with us being out of the way, we end up not being out of the way, because I was the one who was accidentally leaning on your jacket, but I had no clue I was. And, and when you came up to me, I was so intimidated and scared to death. I was, oh no, what did I do?
I think we were just trying to, like Nick said, I think we were just trying to like be polite and kind of like blend in and not try to stand out, because we had just left our position at TNA Wrestling, and we were kind of just we kind of just, if anything, showed up to WWE to create a little bit of a buzz. 'Cause I think at that point we had already known we were going to sign a contract with Ring of Honor, so we were kind of just going to say hello and maybe get the internet talking like, hey, these TNA kids are backstage at WWE. You know, are they going to go there now? And so we really didn't want to make a big stink out of it. And then it ended up becoming like the biggest story online. And you know what, Booker? Like in a way, like, I have to credit you for doing that for us, because I look back at it now and I think it was honestly our first big break, because it was the first time that everybody was talking about us, and now everybody knew our names. And instead of kind of like shy away from it or like defend ourselves and you know, basically tell everybody, no, we were just shy kids and we were embarrassed and blah, blah, blah. We decided, hey, let's make this our characters, and let's do this on social media and do it online. And honestly, it's what got us over.
Yeah.
So like, you helped get us over to that point where it's like now people knew who we were.
No, I'm gonna tell you,
that was
man.
when though. When was it?
No, I'm gonna tell you. You guys embraced it. You guys took it and ran with it. Y'all did the right thing. You know what I mean? If I would have been in your position, I probably would have did the exact same thing. You know, literally, I'm serious. Because to shy away from it, that did nothing for you guys. But to actually, you know, to own it in that way and say, and then the handshake thing, man, and then that thing got all, you know, it blew up all over.
What was the handshake thing? Remind me. What was the handshake thing?
Well, they didn't shake my hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know,
they broke the code.
You know, the wily old veteran, the old guy. You know, but actually to take that, man, and run with it, man. You know, that's special.
It was actually, though, to be honest, you know, that was what 2011, 12, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
That was the first time I heard of the Young Bucks. It was before I was working with you, Book, and it was the first time I'd ever heard their name. I'm scrolling through the internet, and it's like, you know, Booker T has beef with the Young Bucks, and I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And then, you know, that's how I found out.
And I'll say this, Matt and I still get some wrestlers that come up to us for the first time, and they'll say, hey, I didn't think you shook hands.
And you know what? And that's actually how you get over when you make the boys believe, right? Like, you can make fans believe, but if you can even make the boys believe, you know you're onto something good. So people started we started getting a bad reputation about it. And at times I told Nick, I said, are we taking this thing too far? Like, because is this going to affect our bookings and our work? And we're like, you know what? Let's just commit to this thing and let's see where it takes us. And immediately, like, we just saw a difference in it. Like, everybody wanted to talk to us and interview us. Everybody wanted to book us. All of a sudden, our price was going up. So we're like, you know what? Let's do more of this reality-based stuff. And that's kind of, like I said, that's kind of like the beginning of this edgier character that we came up with around 2011, 2012, and then it was uphill from there, man. Like, or downhill from there. I'm sorry. And we went into, a year later we got into the Bullet Club, and that kind of, I mean, it played off of each other. Like, we were cool heels, you know.
You know, that's what the business is about, man. I talk to my students about it all the time, as far as, you know, the fans can see it, but we got to make them feel what we're doing. We got to make them believe, and we don't believe it ourselves. It's no way that they're going to believe. I used to tell guys in the locker room, hey, man, I'm top 5. You know what I mean? I'm one of the best in the world, you know? And I was talking to veterans. I was like one of the young guys, like you guys, once upon a time. I was like, man, you know, hey, you know, I'm going to go out here and steal the show, and I want somebody to go out there and top. You got to believe, you know, from that perspective, man. As well as today with reality-based stories, man. You know, people thought I was going to kick Corey Graves' ass. They say, man, if Booker catch Corey Graves at Starbucks, man, he's in trouble. You know what I mean? Forbes picked it. Everybody picked it up because that's what this business is, man, making people believe, man. You guys, you know, Japan, man, they love you guys over there, man. What is it like to be so popular, you know, in a foreign country like Japan?
Oh, that's great, man. That place is probably, would you say, about our second home? At this point, we only go there for the bigger shows now because our schedule has become so hectic. But we're usually there once every 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, at least.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll look back at the end of my career, and Japan will just have a soft spot in my heart, man. Like, I love the people. I love the culture. just how nice everybody is, how polite everybody is, and the fans are just so incredible. I love the way that they like enjoying professional wrestling. It's so much different than the way it is out here. So you can almost approach a match in a different fashion. You can have different psychology. You can be a true heel there if you really want to. You can be a true baby face there. They still believe it's a sport. So like the art of selling, I think I really learned how to sell by performing in Japan, because they still believe. They come up for you when you have huge fire. Like it's a real throwback in a way. Like it feels like almost like sometimes I'm out there and they're putting the heat on me, and I feel like it's like the freaking 1970s again.
Hey Matt, would you say
What do you
it's a lot easier?
What do you guys know about being 1970?
That was
Well, you know what? Cody Rhodes says we're the most old school wrestlers he knows. So maybe that's part of it.
I'll tell you with the throwback chops, you know what I mean? You definitely. No, but over in Japan, man, my time spent in Japan, man, one thing I realized over there, man, the artistry, man, they really believe in the artistry of going out and performing, the pageantry, you know, they really believe in the pageantry and bringing, you know, the sport alive. That's what I always loved about, you know, performing in Japan, as well as they're just such honorable people. You know, I had a 35 millimeter camera when I first went to Japan, early 90s, you know what I mean? And I left my camera downstairs on the table where I was sitting at, and I went upstairs. I went to sleep for a couple of hours, realized my camera was downstairs, and I left it. And I went back, and it was in the exact same spot that I left.
Wow,
You could not have that happen here in the United States, because somebody waiting on you to leave that table and pick it up and walk away with it, man. But the thing is, man, I'm working with Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes, man. How much, you know, as well as just ROH in general, how much have that brought, you know, more, you know, flavor and more light to the Young Bucks and what you guys are doing?
We've known Kenny for over a decade now, Matt, right?
Yeah.
But there was a span where it was like 6 years where we hadn't seen him. So we finally reconnected when when Kenny came to New Japan. So as soon as we heard he was coming, we're like, oh yes, it's one of our best friends coming to work with us. So we were very happy. Quick story. The first time I met Kenny, it was actually Matt's wedding, and like an idiot and like a bad younger brother, I left his wedding to go do a show. And that was the first time I had met Kenny. But man, we connected with Kenny as soon as we met him a decade ago, and he's just so different. He's very innovative. He thinks outside the box.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think that's why he's so good. And
right.
Same thing with Cody. He thinks outside the box, but he has that old school mentality that just works, and it still works to this day. And we've only known him for a couple years. So when we found out he was joining the Bullet Club, we were like, oh my God, this is going to be a perfect fit. And sure enough, it was. I don't know if you want to add to that, Matt.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, like with Kenny, like the three of us, we operate almost as one person. Like we are always on the same wavelength. We think the same. We're just three weird guys that don't really think like professional wrestlers. we think of when we're in the ring, we're making a movie. Like, so I don't like to think like a wrestler, because everybody essentially does the same cookie cutter stuff when you think like that.
Yeah.
It's like we try to think differently, and Kenny sometimes comes up with the most outrageous, outlandish ideas.
Yeah.
And Nick and I are like, you know what, this even seems crazy for us, but let's try it. And usually it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Like, but that's what's the beauty about it, is a guy like Kenny and guys like us, we're not afraid to try and gamble and risk it all,
to commit.
Like we'll try it, and sometimes it won't work, but that's fine. That's how you find out who you are. And I think as the three of the elite, that's kind of like what we've banked on is taking these really crazy, risky ideas and committing to it and trying to get it over. And if it gets over, sometimes we even go to the back and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe that works. You know,
for instance, Matt, there was a Halloween show in Tokyo, and Kenny and Matt had the idea where the three of us should dress up as the Ghostbusters, and I would be what, Casper, was it, or
you're like
that? So I was on the fence. I was like, I don't know. I don't think this is going to get over. New Japan's very serious company. I think the booker will get mad at us. I think the owners will get mad. But you know what? We were like, you know what? Let's commit to it and let's just try it out. And sure enough, by the end of that match, people were going nuts for it.
Oh, so, not to mention that you mentioned the Booker Gato. He was in the match with us, and we paid him. We didn't even we dressed up at the last second.
That's right.
I wanted to touch on Cody too, like Nick already kind of did. We just met him like a couple of years ago, and man, we just hit it right off with him, and we couldn't be any more different, honestly. Like, he thinks so much differently than us, but it still works. Because especially because when we came together, and I'm sure we'll touch on this in a second, when we decided we're going to run the show together, we almost fought every single day because his ideas were so much different than ours. So every day it was like a balance of like trying to figure out what would work and find a middle ground. So like, it's funny because we don't operate the same way as we do with Kenny, where we just agree on everything. With Cody, we disagree on everything, but still we found this magic. We found this magic with this guy. And the one thing I love about him also is he's not afraid to step outside his comfort zone. Like, we had him on our YouTube series.
You talking about Stardust? Of course.
He is not afraid. Clearly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we put him on our show, and immediately I knew he had something special in him, and he wasn't afraid to just listen to us. And because this is a whole different audience for him. He had only been performing in front of the WWE for 10 years or whatever. I mean, but it's a totally different world, So he kind of like came to Nick and I for guidance, I think, and we just let him know, hey, this is what's cool here. And he developed so quickly, like it blew my mind. So immediately we knew this guy's good.
Yeah. Well, you guys are good too, man. You guys are. No, I'm serious, man. I was a critic, and I should be. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking about the hereafter of the sport. I'm thinking about the next generation, man. And you guys have definitely created something like nobody else. When you could get the fans to buy into you and believe in you, and then have memories for many, many years to come. And then when you guys get my age and they come up to you and say, man, Nick, man, you remember you did this, Matt, you did this, man. That right there at the end of the day is what this sport and what the business is really truly all about, man. Leaving the fans with memories of lasting memories for a lifetime, man. And you guys are creating that, man. And you guys are doing it your own way. You've put your own stamp on this business, and I can only respect that, as well as admire my man Brad Gilmore here. He's chomping at the bit.
I hate that word.
I hate that word.
I hate that
word.
What is chomping? I don't even know what that means.
But he's chomping at the bit to get in. Go ahead, Brad.
No, I wanted to ask though, really about the All In weekend. It was you talk about having memories for fans forevermore. That was one of the most incredible shows I think that's been, especially the most incredible show on an independent level. I think was it Matt? Was it you who almost didn't make it because you were sick? Didn't you have like the flu or something?
That was me. That was Nick. Man, I what was it? 3 days beforehand, Matt?
Yeah.
I caught a flu, and I remember we were flying home from, where was it, Buffalo, New York, or somewhere around there. And I was literally shivering for 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I was in so much pain. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst timing ever. So as soon as I landed, I went straight to the doctors and got medicine. And I was feeling okay 2 days later, thank God. But man, it was a close one. Yeah.
It was tough. We were going really hard getting to All In, and people don't realize like how hard it was to book and run this show, but also keep up a full-time schedule, right? And have families. Like it was insane. So on top of that, Nick got this terrible virus where he actually at one point was like, God, if I feel like this, I don't even think I'm going to wrestle on my own show. So it was pretty bad, but thank God he made it. And I wanted to thank you, Booker, for saying all these, putting us over like that earlier. Like, that is what we're in the business for telling stories and trying to make lasting memories. That's all we have, right? Or our memories. And I think All In Weekend for me, I mean, looking back, we're about a month removed from the show now. And I could clearly say that was the highlight of my career so far. Just the entire weekend it just felt different. It felt like this weird magical festival that we put together. And I just felt so proud. And we had our family there the entire, week with us, and they got to feel it too. So we got to share this experience, and all the fans too. It didn't seem like a typical wrestling weekend, you know what I mean? Like it was more than that.
Yeah.
And after the event, like I felt like we had hit a home run already, but I felt like someone said this best. Someone said it was like 5 hours after. It was a long event because we had a pre-show too that lasted an hour. It was about a 5-hour event, and we were all standing in the ring, and there wasn't one empty seat in that entire arena because they all wanted to hear us talk.
Yeah.
And I spoke to the Sears Center people about this, and they said that in their 20 years of running events, or the manager that I spoke to said he had never seen an event like this where people weren't running out the door trying to beat the traffic. He said he's never seen it. He said there was something different about that event. So it was just fun. It felt like everyone came just to hear us talk at the end. It was almost like the end, a curtain call, if you will, like after the show ends, and everybody just wanted to hear our final thoughts. And when we were speaking on the mic and talking to them, there was this weird connection. Just like Cody said it best, it felt like this weird revolution. Like it wasn't just. I don't think we can contain this in just one night. It felt like the people were hungry and thirsty for more.
Yeah.
So I'm like right there in the ring. I knew, I'm like, man, this thing is bigger than we even realized.
Yeah. I tell you that exhaustion. That's called ownership. That's what that's called, man.
Leading up to the event, I did want to ask this. You talk about y'all and Cody had different views of everything. What was like the biggest thing that y'all disagreed about leading up to All In regards to the show?
I would say the talent to book. We were butting heads on who we should book a lot.
Because I didn't get a phone call. I'm just playing.
That must have been a Cody call.
That's going down.
That was a Cody call.
Put you on the next one.
I love it. But I would say that was probably the biggest thing. Or you know what? Some of the stuff was like match layouts, like how long certain matches would get. But you know what? It wasn't serious things. It was just small little things that became bigger than what it was because there's so much stress added to it because it was such a big event, and it was the first one the three of us have ever done. So I can see now. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the one thing that we did agree on the entire time was we knew that we couldn't sell the people just a wrestling card, because there's a million wrestling cards right now in the world, and there's great wrestling on every card. So like what would it be if we just said, oh, here's another great card? Like it would just get lost in the shuffle, in my opinion. So we knew right out of the gate we needed to sell the people more than that. It had to be more like a feeling, like a movement, and that's what it became. It became, come support the three of us. This is our literal show that we're doing. And if we fail, we fail. So
what was the nerves, man? What was the nerves? Did you guys think did you guys think there was a chance of failing in this thing? I mean, the Sears Center.
For sure.
Did you? I mean, but then when it happened so quickly, what did you guys feel?
Man, you know what? I'm gonna have to say this. Cody knew for sure it was gonna be a success. Wow. Just with the three of us putting our names on the line. And he from day one, he said that. And I always questioned it. I said, I don't know. I think we need guys like CM Punk on the show. And Cody was like, trust me, the three of us are big enough to make this movement possible. So he was always right about that. But it's funny, when the tickets went on sale the first day, Cody then started thinking, then he started doubting, but Matt and I had the confidence. And Matt was the one that was telling the two of us it's going to sell out in one day. And Cody and I were like, I don't know.
I knew it was a sellout within. I'll say this. Dana, my wife, was in the car with me, and she can attest to this. I want to say 30 seconds into tickets, someone tweeted me 30 seconds later and said the entire floor section's gone. And I looked at my wife. I said, we're going to sell out in less than an hour. And she's like, no way. And I knew it. I just, because I just felt it, I guess. And then when you hear something like that many seats went in 30 seconds, like this is a hot ticket. And everybody was getting locked out. So I knew right away, I'm like, there's so much traffic on this site right now that there's more than 10,000 people trying to buy a ticket. I just knew it.
I mean, we had guys down here that tried to get tickets, and boom, tickets were gone.
Oh, it's possible.
Immediately, yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
I was going to say that so I felt great for a day, right? We sold the tickets and I was like, wow, that's amazing. But then 24 hours later, I thought to myself, oh my God, this really has to be a good show now.
Now we got to deliver.
Yeah, that is true.
Did y'all
live up to this thing?
Were y'all upset that your time, because the rumor was y'all's time in the main event got cut because the show was going long? Was that kind of a letdown for you?
Yeah, you know what? For about a week, I was very upset.
Yeah.
But looking back now, Bubba Ray talked to me backstage, and he's like, "Listen, who cares about your time? The whole show was a success. Everyone's happy." He's all, "Just think of that. You guys hit a home run." He's also just think of that when you're down. I was like, you know what? That is good advice.
And you know what? He's right. He's right, because our fingerprints were literally on every single segment in that show. So it's like, oh well, like our actual physical wrestling part got cut a little short. But every other segment we helped produce, and we should be proud of that. And I like Nixon. I was probably mad for about a week as well.
No, man. I mean, you guys,
understandably,
you guys got to give yourselves a pat on the back. I mean, because that's the one thing I question. I talked to Brad about it. I was like, man, who's on this show? I mean, we don't even know who's going to be on the show. You know what I mean? But still, the show's sold out because. It's like me. I go do a lot of autograph signing these days. And people look at me and they say, "Man, Book, you still in good shape, man. Why don't you get in the ring and wrestle?" I'm like, "Man, I've had 10,000 matches." I say the fans, I think they'll rather see me and shake a hand and take a photo. They've seen 1,000 matches, but to have that memory, of what you guys said there earlier, the fans stayed just to see you guys talk. Of course they wanted to see the show, but they wanted to give you guys that curtain call. They wanted to give you guys that respect and say, "Hey, you guys did an awesome job, and we cannot wait until All In 2. Let's talk about that."
Good segue, right?
Hey, man, that's my job, man. That's my job. We're doing this now going on 3 years. So, hey, man, let's talk. Is there going to be an All In 2 coming up sometime in the future?
Man, it's hard to say right now because we're in a predicament right now where we don't really know what we're going to be doing in the next few months because it's contract season.
Yeah, I know how that is.
But you know what? With the success of All In One, it would probably be silly for Matt and myself and Cody not to do something else, right? I think the fans want it. I think we want it. So I won't say we are doing it, but there's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. Sure, and I feel like people enjoyed our vision of what professional wrestling can be, and we've been basically doing this on our web series for a few years now. But our web series essentially took wrestling form on September 1st. That's what we think wrestling should be. It should be fun. It should be a party. And maybe there's more of that to come. I mean, I'd be lying if I said we haven't discussed it. Because, of course, I mean, we discussed it the night of the show, like when the show ended. Like, we're at the restaurant discussing it. Because essentially that's what happens, right? You have a great box office movie, and immediately you're thinking about the next one. Like, you don't know if you're going to do the next one, but you're at least talking about it.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, it's definitely a thought. So we'll see.
Man, if you do, definitely I'd be looking for an invite for that one.
Yeah, Harlem Heat versus the Young Bucks.
Hey, there it is. People been wanting to see
I like
that. That's a question I want to ask right there. Who do you guys rate as your greatest tag team of all time?
Oh man, I have to go with the Hardy Boys because they've been on top for so many years and they've been box office for so long. So I I just don't think anyone comes close to the amount of dollars that they've drawn and have made.
You know what? You know what?
Yeah.
Boom, Ned. I agree with you. That's your era right there. I mean, if
Yep.
somebody to call and say, hey man, those are the guys that I want to be like, or those are the guys I want to kind of like put myself in the talk around the water cooler as far as, man, we rank right up there with those guys. The Hardy Boys would be it. Before I let you guys get out of here, man, for myself. I wrestled in WCW, I guess 10 years,
Something like that.
And I tell people all the time, man, if WCW would have stuck around, man, I probably would have retired at WCW. I probably would still be there right now. I'd probably be an executive. I might be president of the company.
Well, it seems like they gave that out to anybody. So.
I'm talking about the real president. I'm talking about the guy that was making all the money. But I say I probably would have retired there. I mean, I knew WrestleMania was out there. A lot of my friends had left WCW to go to WWF back in the day, and the guys was like, "Man, Book, why don't you go?" And I was like, "Man, I got a spot open. I'm cool. I'm making money. I'm happy. My family's paid for." But when WCW closed down, I had to make that transition and go over. It's been awesome. You know what I mean? To do WrestleMania, it's been awesome. But do you guys feel like your career would be complete? I'm not saying you don't have to do it, but do you feel like it would be complete if you guys didn't do just one WrestleMania?
I think every wrestler in the world would agree with saying, yeah, I would probably have to complete my career by going to WWE. But for Nick and I, we're so different and we're so outside the box and we're not traditionalists that, like, how cool of a story would it be if we just never went? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm not saying that we're not going to go, but I think our legend would almost even grow bigger if we didn't go, and as opposed to if we did go, I think then we just become another tag team that ended up going there. You know what I'm saying?
But like Outlaw Josie Wales, you know what I mean?
How long did Sting hold out for? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Who knows, man? Like, I can't say, like, 'cause I don't even know how long I'm going to be doing this, but maybe I go now, maybe I go later, and I do just one match. They put me in the Hall of Fame. Who knows?
Hey man, that's the goal. It's the body of work, I say, that gets you to the Hall of Fame, man. I really think you guys' body of work to this point, man, has been second to none. It really has been.
Thanks,
and I'm giving you guys credit, man, because credit is due. Seriously, and I want people out there to know that Booker T ain't no hater, man. I mean, I mean, guys. Sometimes people look at me and he's just one of those old guys and whatnot. He's not thinking about the young guys, but I think about you guys all the time, man. This is your era, man. This is your era to make whatever you want out of it, man. So definitely, man. I don't know if Brad got anything else, but now he's done. But I want to thank you guys, man. If you guys got any thing y'all want to throw out there to the fans as far as get in touch with what you guys going on right before I get you guys out of here, man.
Sure. Yeah, we'll be in Las Vegas this weekend for Ring of Honor Friday and Saturday. You can catch the pay-per-view Friday night pretty much anywhere you could order a pay-per-view. I think it's on Fight TV.
Fight TV,
Honor Club
yeah.
also.
Yeah, in Honor Club. Then Sunday we fly to Long Beach for a big New Japan show, so you could catch that on Access TV, I believe, soon. I don't know if it's live or not, but
no, I think it's on a delay. And also we film our show Being the Elite will be making its return next week. We do that every week on YouTube for free. It's youtube.com/The Elite or beingtheelite.com. You can buy our merch at prowrestlingtees.com/youngbucks, or go to any of your local Hot Topics, or go to youngbucksmerch.com for everything. We got autographs, anything you need.
Oh yeah!
And y'all edit the show yourself, right? Being the Elite.
Nick does.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, you Pisces, right?
You know what, dude? I honestly wouldn't even know what to say because I have no idea about any of that stuff.
Well, I'm March 1st. You March 13th, right?
Okay, that's it. That's it.
I think that's why we butted heads a little bit, man. I think that's what it was earlier, man. You know what I mean? Hey, man, but
now in retrospect,
seriously, man, I appreciate you guys coming on and giving me some time.